Hello, this video describes how to use the BladeLogic command line interface, also known as the BLCLI.
All right, so now let's talk about BLCLI real quick. So BLCLI, aka the BladeLogic command line interface, uh, is a great little tool for talking to BladeLogic from scripts or commands or programs or anything you're writing. So this is the BLCLI reference, real easy to find by Googling, BladeLogic 8.7 BLCLI reference, something like that. There's a couple of good sections down here that I use all the time is the quick start, the performance commands, and then the reference. So the performance commands are going to let us do things like set options and do connect and disconnect and that sort of thing. And those will let us do commands very, very quickly. But there's also some great little intro stuff on how to use things, the command reference. The quick start gives you some nice overview of this stuff. And you can come through and read up on this. Very fast, very straightforward. Learn how to run your first things, that sort of thing. Very straightforward. And then of course there's the overall reference itself, and that's here. That has all the different commands. Now I'm looking for something in the server space. Click right into the server space, and we're going to look for list all servers. Now BLCLI server list all servers is kind of what I call like the hello world of all of these commands, right? Lets you come through. It's real simple, takes no arguments, works in every environment. Also kind of gives us a little sense of the health of the environment depending on how fast it runs, but kind of a really useful command. So the first thing we're going to need is a service credential. And if you do cred-list in a network shell window, most of the time you're either going to get no credential or you're going to get an expired credential. So in this case, I have no credential. Let's do cred-acquire. Now, I happen to know in my environment that the name of my authentication profile is default profile. This is a very common profile, but a lot of people may have something like BladeLogic Prod or something else, depending on your environment. When you go log into BladeLogic GUI the first time, or when you do it on a regular basis, you'll come in here and you'll have it pop up, and one of the first things it's going to show you is it's going to show you the profile on the machine that you're on. And so if you're running this from a GUI, as I am, on my local workstation, it's going to show me a profile right here. It's going to be pretty straightforward, pretty easy to understand. And wait for this to come up here a second. But I'm going to come in here when it launches, and it's going to show me what the name of my default profile is. And right there I see default profile. I don't have any others known, but that's real easy to understand. And so I'm going to use the same profile when I'm establishing my credential. Next thing to do is put in my username. In this case, it's BLAdmin. Most environments it shouldn't be. I should have an assigned account for this. And I type in my password real quick, and that should get me a credential. So it says acquired session credential, and if you want to go see what it is, you can always do cred-list, and it will show you exactly the auth profile, what app server it got it from, when it got it, how long it's good for, and what roles. All right, so then once I've got a credential, it's as simple as BLCLI server list all servers. Now, I these days don't run BLCLI by itself without using the performance commands or something along those lines. Almost ever. The very first time I run a command, I'll run it because it takes a little less setup. But the first thing it's gonna warn me is it's gonna remind me that I need to tell it about that default profile, and then I'm gonna need to tell it what role it is. And so rather than run it and get an error message, which we certainly can do, we go run this. It'll take a few seconds to spin up and run, and it's gonna tell us that we need to pass in that default profile, and then it's also gonna ask us what role to run that from. So as soon as this runs and fails, which I will let it do, now I can go do the same thing. V will give it the default profile name. Helps if you can spell. and role BL admins. Now the role is important because in different roles we may have views into different servers. So if you don't run with a role that can see the whole environment, you're probably not going to get the whole list of servers. And one thing it helps to do is pass in the actual name of the command you want, and there's our list of servers. And we can, of course, redirect that out to a host.txt file or whatever it is we want to do. But that's kind of your basic hello world for BLCLI command. All right, thanks.